Hello and welcome back to Blue Tube. Today we're going to be going through our game against Blackpool in the FA Cup, whilst also then installing a preview for Stockport on Wednesday evening. So to kick us off, I'd say hello. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, good.
Okay then. Anyway, so the
All right,
Blackpool
bad then.
result. We are through. We've just sat down and watched the FA Cup draw.
We did.
And I'm so excited that we've got someone that we've never played before because they're not in our division, and it's definitely not a really underwhelming result against Lincoln.
Massive game. Massive game.
Huge. No, we shouldn't take the mick really, but
It's Lincoln, by the way. He hasn't mentioned that yet, has he? It's Lincoln.
I did say Lincoln.
Oh, did you? All right. He said Lincoln, didn't he? Okay. No, but no disrespect. But at least we can be hopeful that we're progressing to the next round. It's not just about revenue raising; it's progression.
Yeah. One thing that we can be
Look on the positive sides.
Yeah, one thing that we can be happy about is we're at home, so I suppose that's something.
Yeah,
and Man United against Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to go into that.
Yeah, this is about. We're getting. It's a 2-for-1 again tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, as these fixtures start to come in a little bit more frequently.
We're going to sort of double up on a lot of these and try and get some interesting facts in and talk about a review going into a preview.
Yeah,
so a match analysis. Like tonight, it'll be the Blackpool
and Stockport preview,
which it was so difficult to find because obviously we haven't gone away to watch the Blackpool games, and the FA Cup games are so difficult to watch and see and get information on. So, but we'll do our best.
We're about to see a real in-depth analysis based on 2 minutes worth of footage. It's going to be a good one. We'll touch on Blackpool for a little bit. We'll get into it now, actually. And one thing straight from the off, I just wanted to talk about just how delighted I am to see that the two goal scorers for us were Dykes and Juki. I mean, it couldn't have been any better for me. Seeing them two.
Good old-fashioned centre forwards, number 10, working well together.
Yeah.
Juki looked like he was like probably 5 or so years younger, didn't he? He was all over the place and getting stuck in.
Yeah.
And Dykes looking hungry as well, fitted into the number 10 role really well, I thought. Took a goal. Well, both of them a goal apiece. You couldn't ask for more than that, could you?
Yeah.
Bit of a blemish, with a goal against. But I thought Dykes took his goal really well.
Yeah, definitely. Keller set him up.
Yes, I was chuffed. You know how I feel about Keller. I think he's a real good prospect. I do. Good to see him have a good game. But yeah, Dykes was mentioning in his interview that it was a bit of a practiced dead ball situation that they'd done, and it paid off really well. He said he wanted the ball a bit earlier, but it came to him eventually, and a really good finish.
Yeah.
Sort of almost the edge of the box on the left-hand side, and sort of rifled it bottom right-hand corner. Good goal.
Just glad to see him get another goal to boost his confidence. I know he scored against Fulham, but the under-21s, it's not. I can imagine as a striker, it's not something. Yeah, but let's be real. It's a goal, yes, but it's not something that you take away and go.
When you need goals, any goal is a positive, and it's a confidence
builder. You see my
builder.
point, though, because in the FA Cup, it's a bigger game, and it's like, you can really feel like he's off the mark.
But you know what? Watching him get interviewed, he was absolutely chuffed, and fair play to you, Lyndon. You did well, mate. And I tell you what, he interviews really well. He's got that real get up and go attitude about him. I like to see that. He talks well.
Yeah.
Talks really well. So he's a good one for the squad, Lyndon Dykes. And then Juki. Proper centre forwards goal that was. Watching the ball all the way, being there for the rebound, slotting it in.
Yeah. Doing
beautiful.
well. Yeah, I mean, it's just good to see him still at this club after so long, still scoring goals.
Yeah,
but moving on from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the match stats. Now, for the first time, we've come away from a game with less possession than the opposition. So it does go to show that we do have a plan B. We can switch up a little bit and still come away with positive results. Got here from the BBC after the game. Blackpool had 54% possession, obviously to our 46. What do you make of that then? Because usually we're so used to dominating the game.
Yeah, we are. But
it
shows that we can do it, and it shows that it's more about who scores. Again. We actually had less, but scored more goals. Less possession, more goals, and that's what counts. And I think most of that, because we did have more at half-time. I think it was the other way around, 54-46 at half-time to Blues. And I think it was more Blackpool chasing the game. They switched it up quite a bit, didn't they? They brought 4 subs on, I think, at half-time. But we were just too strong for them. We brought some of our big cannons on as well. but still left some of our, what I would say are our like second 11, but they are more like first 11. Like we've said before, it's nice to see that we can bring players in and slot them in, and it just picks up on where we were. We just like that they just play the same game, and okay, it wasn't quite the same game yesterday. It was a hard fixture really away from home.
I
FA
agree.
Cup could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, promising to see that we can bring any players in, they slot into their positions, we can mix it up, we can play a different game and still come out on top. So, got to take some real positives away from that.
And I was glad to see Leonard get a game. And from what I've read of the game, played really well. A few good corners as well. That was a recurring theme from some of the reports that I read about Leonard. Well, about the team was that he played really well. So I'm delighted to hear that, because you know how I feel about getting Leonard in the squad, giving him a run out. So yeah, all pleasing signs. But one inconsistency in this game that's been ever present, which is the shot to conversion. We had 11 strikes on goal, 7 on target, which sounds good.
Much better.
But it's still about putting the chances away, because there was an effort that Dykes had with his head that flashed across goal that people are saying that he should have been doing better with. And then Peck from like a yard out or so missed.
See, I didn't get to see that, unfortunately.
No, I'm just going off of reports and what I've been reading.
Okay.
I'm just putting that in here.
But
it's
you
the
know
same
what,
thing,
though?
isn't it?
It's improvement on what we've done before, isn't it? I mean,
You can't complain too much if we won the game.
Well, from the limited highlights I've seen, we were having shots on. And their keeper's made a couple of good saves on what I've seen. So, and we put 2 away, and you can't argue with that. So, I'm quite pleased. Apparently, a fairly good defensive display.
Laird had a really good game from what I read as well.
Good. And their goal, I've seen their goal, and I think a little bit of sloppiness in probably a bit too much space given.
Got sucked in.
But then the way that guy's falling over and just turns and swipes at the ball like that, it was like, did he catch us unawares? I don't know, but we'll give him that one. We've come out on top, haven't we?
Yeah.
But little things like that we need to tighten up on. I'm not going to point fingers, but we do need to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah. And that's really all I did on Blackpool. Like I said, it's not something that we're going to go to full throttle with, just a little bit of a pointer, because we can only do so much. We can only watch so much of the game. So I think I'm all right going. I'm okay to go on to the Stockport game if you are.
Yeah, we've beat Blackpool. It's confidence building. It's another win on the road, and we're into the next round against Lincoln. So, yeah, I'm happy to move on if you are.
We can go to that one as well, at home.
Yes.
So, yeah, there are positives with that one. So against Stockport on Wednesday night, under the lights, at home.
Wednesday game?
Wednesday, yeah.
Is that something to do with either Villa or West Brom playing then?
I didn't look that far.
Or is it because we played Sunday?
I've took it
was
as
it a
face
knock-on
value.
effect? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's to catch up with the fixtures.
It's an unusual night, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I imagine it would be something to do with the FA Cup fixture being on Sunday. But, so gone into Stockport a little bit. First of all, their manager is Dave Challoner. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. He played for Stockport as a centre-back. I think he had a few...
name.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought that I recognised the name, but obviously it's going to be way before my day of watching.
Oh, I don't know. Played him before, haven't we? I mean, you'll tell us this, how many times we've come across him.
Well, he seems to have been doing all right this season, at least, for Stockport. Come up from, obviously, League 2 with Wrexham, and they're just behind us in the table. But we'll get onto that in a moment, because first of all, I want to talk about the form table. They're through to the next round as well. Didn't actually capture who they've got in the next round, so apologies for that. But they've just beaten Brackley. Who are they?
Don't knock them.
I know. Yeah, you are right. I shouldn't. 3-1. And as far as form goes, they've got 4 wins out of the last 6. Those other 2 are losses versus Tranmere, and then a 5-0 battering from Wickham. But no surprise there. They're scoring goals for fun
Wickham
at the moment.
the dark horses this year, aren't they?
I'm
actually looking forward to Blues playing Wickham.
Yeah. I'm glad that we've already played them away and won 3-2. I mean, 3-2. They scored goals for fun then, didn't they? The Blues form table, you'll know it all too well. We'll put it on the screen for you. Wins at Blackpool, preceded by a win at Exeter. Obviously, that loss against Shrewsbury, draw against Northampton, and then the 2 wins against Sutton and Fulham under 21. It's nice to see that 7-1 still there on the form table. Now, moving on to the actual league table, it wasn't much of a screen grab they had to capture for this because they are just behind us. Stockport County. They're on 30 points and we're on 33. Now, we do have 2 games in hand over them, but credit to Stockport, they're racking up the points and they're proving themselves to be quite the force in this division, aren't they?
There's going to be times through this season that there are going to be teams just rising to the top, even momentarily, that are going to be tough to beat. We've already seen that with some of the teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be up there as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's a tough old division. And I tell you what, we've been given this reputation that we've really got to try and keep hold of because there's a lot of pressure on Blues now.
Yeah, well,
it's good, healthy pressure, but we need to live up to it, don't we? And I tell you what, and I haven't said this for a few videos now, but this is a banana skin game. But I am confident about this. I think that Blues are starting to get some healthy sort of confidence behind them because they've come unstuck. There's only so many ways you can lose. Well, there's millions of ways you can lose a game, but in this division, we know the type of football now. We know the type of game that we're going to come up against, the quality.
not underestimating anyone.
We have found a plan B and a C, I think, after yesterday. The plan B last week against, oh God, it's escaped me. Who did we beat last
Blackpool.
week? Yes. No, that was yesterday.
Exeter.
That was the plan C.
Exeter.
So we're mixing it up a little bit more, aren't we? I mean, to bring the reserves in and play that system, it was what we wanted when we discussed it the other night, on the preview. So we are, in a nutshell, adaptable, and we're showing that we can be adaptable. So if we can play that nice passing game, but then mix it up a bit, surprise the other team like we've been wanting to, it's going to be interesting for the rest of the season. As long as we can stay fit and keep bringing in the rotational players.
Not to be apprehensive, but I'm still wary. I wouldn't go as far as to say we've got plan B and C. I still think we need a few tests. And
Well, it's not necessarily sticking to, like, this is how we're going to play. It's just, I think, like I've just said, more adaptable. So play our game, but not be so predictable in the way that this is the only way we can play like we looked like before. It's a case of mixing it up a little bit now, which I think that we've shown that we can do.
And I think we desperately needed that because one of the things that we were saying off the back of some of our more negative results was we're worried that teams had started to have figured us out from the way that we were playing and the way that they were countering us, putting all their players behind the ball.
And let's face it, they had figured us out. Well, because we didn't have a way around it. We didn't have a way of keeping hold of some of the wins sometimes, which has been our problem for a long time, actually.
Well, we've given Stockport a bit of a headache now in their preparation for the game against us with the way that we played against Blackpool. You look at the possession especially, and just how it's chalk and cheese for what we usually play like. They don't know what to expect, really, for how we're going to play.
Jumping ahead, you might have done this, but I don't know if you have. Have you looked at what these...
Yes, I've done the referee.
No. The sales for the game on Wednesday. Have you seen...
No, I haven't.
I'll tell you
actually,
what,
but
get down there. If you haven't got a ticket, get there because I think it's going to be a great atmosphere again. The night games under the lights.
If our reputation is anything to go by this season alone, I'm pretty sure it'll be a full house.
Because I love just being down there at the Moments home games.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, it is fantastic. Right, back onto Stockport a little bit then. So I usually try and do a few of their top players. But there was one here that was just a stark standout, and he's tearing the league apart. He's currently the top goal scorer in the division with, how many has he got? 13 goals so far, and he's winning by 3 goals. His name's Louis Barry, and he's 21 years old, striker, and you wouldn't guess where he's from on loan.
Go on.
Aston Villa. Aston Villa have loaned him out to Stockport, and he just seems to be tearing it up. He dominates.
Is this the lad that they want to take back and put
I've
in
heard
the
some news about
or is that somebody else?
There's been rumours that Aston Villa want to take him back in January.
But it's not to take him back to the club. I think they want him in the
loan
Championship.
him out in the Championship. Yes.
Is that the same one? Is it? Because I did read that somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But take that with a massive pinch of salt because it seems that always is.
What would you do? What would you do if you were Jay Stansfield reading that, like his goals, and that he's tearing it up?
Well, have a guess at how many J's on.
Fire to do well, isn't it?
Have a guess how many J's on.
He's on.
So he's on 13.
He's on 10.
Not quite. Jay's on
9.
7.
Oh, is he? What, in
He's on
all
7. But
competitions?
you've got to bear in mind, Jay came to us at the
God's
very
sake,
end
Oliver.
of transfer deadline day, so he
True.
would have missed some of the games if you remember.
Did you include the one against us for Fulham?
No, funnily enough, I didn't. But anyway, yeah, he dominates the stats. He's the highest rated player, which is, of course, no surprise there. He creates the most chances, has the most shots. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be a threat against
What
us.
to watch for?
Absolutely, yeah. So
What
no,
position did you say he was?
striker.
He's an out-and-out striker, is he?
Yeah,
Number 9?
yeah. So, and someone else, not a top player by any means, but just
Someone
something
to watch
interesting
out for.
No, just an interesting. I don't think he'll play. He played in the FA Cup game. It's Odin Bailey. He just played in their tie, an ex-Blues player, so I thought I'd just bring him up. But that's all I did for the top players because I thought Louis Barry's just so far ahead. The referee, I did this for you. Sorry, guys. Is Ben Toner, and the only thing I could be bothered to write down about him was he's shown 1,083 yellow cards and 23 red cards
In the last 3 games?
I was going to get you to guess. How many fixtures do you think?
Oh, good God. 1,000 and how many?
So, just over 1,100 if you're including
So
both
about
yellow cards
1,100
and red.
1,100 cards completely.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's going to be thousands of games, isn't it?
Go
That's
on.
going to be. Don't you know what? It's going to be about 4,000 games.
403.
No. Yeah, I did a 0 when I shouldn't have done. So, Can I say that again? I think that's about 400 games.
I'll keep all of this in.
So,
Okay.
what's his name, this ref?
Ben Toner.
Ben Tone.
The only good thing about him is his first name.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1,083 yellow cards, 23 red cards. Make it 24 on Wednesday. Hooray.
Don't get saying that.
I know,
God.
yeah, touch wood. But yeah, that's all I've done on the referee. I don't know
We've
what
spent
else.
too long on the referee in this.
He
now already,
likes
haven't we?
sausage mash and peas for his tea.
Oh,
There
does
you
he?
go, a little bit of
Okay.
trivia for you. Right, let's go for some general league statistics. Now, we haven't done this before, but I want to start doing this for teams now. To actually, I think it gives you a little bit more of an insight. You're comparing the whole division to this one team, and Stockport was a good place to start. Probably not for good reasons. It doesn't make for light listening because they are a real threat. So they have the third most amount of goals in the entire division. They've got 29 so far. They're only beaten by Peterborough, who have 32. And of course, the other one, Wickham, who's scoring for absolute fun at the moment. They've got 36. But we are fourth on that list.
Oh, okay.
We've got 28
Get
goals.
in there then. Get in
So
there.
it puts things into perspective, this.
Someone's still in for a hiding.
Yeah, well, yeah. It just wonders on when it's going to come. Now, next one is... we'll do well not to concede, I think, because Stockport have had the most shots on target in the division, 91 so far. Birmingham, we're much further down the list. We've only had 66.
We need to improve on that.
And with the amount of possession
But
we've got...
we are improving on it.
Slowly but surely, yes. And injured players. Couldn't find anything on Stockport. I don't know if you guys know Blues fans. I just could not find anything anywhere. And I did scour to have a look, but nothing came up.
On
No
what?
news
Injured
articles.
players?
Excuse me. for
Current
Stockport.
injuries for them?
Yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't find anything. Obviously, with us, we know Hansen, Wright, Buchanan's getting close, but it seems to be up in the air. We thought that it was about to come back, and it turns out it was a few weeks away.
Do you know anything about Stansfield being rested yesterday? Was that just a resting against Blackpool? Or?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure I've heard that somewhere, but from what I've found, nothing. It's only Hansen, Wright, and Buchanan.
And no injuries that you've heard of from the game?
No, not from Blackpool, no, and nothing on Stockport, but that's not to say that is the case. I just couldn't find anything.
Often when we put these things out, we sort of get latest news and the stuff that it's just been too late
before
to report
conferences and such, which is where this sort of news does come out, so bear that in mind, Blues fans. But anyway, moving on from that, let's go through the heads-to-head through the years against Stockport County. Ooh. No, okay, anyway, so games
Halloween again?
We've won 23. How many have we drawn, do you think? In fact, no, forget that. We've drawn 5 and we've lost 13.
It's got a balance.
Never happens though, does it? It just does not work
it
like
does
that.
actually. It has recently when we've like, we should be winning this. We have.
Right, so it's within my lifetime, in my earlier years. When do you think was the last time that we played?
fairly recently.
No.
Is it not?
Well, think about it, Dad. We've been in the Championship and Stockport have been nowhere near us. Then Premier League, then
Okay,
Championship.
so I reckon we last played them about 2006.
Oh.
Go on.
29th of December, 2001. It was in League Division 1 and we won 3-0 at Stockport.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
How can you not remember that, Dad?
I know, yeah.
I don't know why I ask you those. It's a bit of a trap question, really. But yeah, moving on from that, I suppose that's all I'm going to read into with the head-to-heads. You know how it goes. And something that I forgot last time, but players who played for both clubs, I've got a few here. Let us know if there's any more. John Ruddy.
Big John Ruddy.
Stephen Gleeson.
Oh,
I
I liked
enjoyed.
him.
He had
I
a
liked
great
him.
knee slide celebration. I always remember that about him. He went to Solihull. Bowers Myhill.
Yeah, goalkeeper
Gary McSheffrey.
from Cove.
And Matt Sadler.
Matt Sadler, now manager of
Walsall.
Walsall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there
Yeah,
you
I
go.
remember. Yeah, I remember all of them.
Little bit of trivia for you
decent.
there, and that does not end it because I was scouring a bit for Stockport.
No, I might be totally wrong here.
Go on.
Where was Kevin Francis at Stockport at one time, or
You said that about Blackpool.
yeah,
You
did I?
did. You did say that
A
about
bit of dementia
Blackpool.
setting in again. Why does that just trigger?
Kevin Francis. What is it with you and
I
Kevin
dunno.
Francis?
Dunno.
Right, moving
Well, they haven't
on.
even got a beach, so I can't say he was, giving donkey rides, can I?
No, you
No, I
didn't.
love Kevin Francis. He was cracking, wasn't he? But I don't know.
Blimey.
Maybe I'll have to have a look in a bit.
Honestly, you melt my brain.
We've had
sometimes.
loads of people coming up with players that played for both teams. That's really good.
Yeah, that's wicked.
And
Thank
you know
for that.
when we've turned this off, it's like, oh, what about so and so? Yeah, oh, yeah, and loads that I hadn't got a clue of. Well, didn't remember. But Keishy Anderson was the big one from Blackpool, wasn't it? Current player.
I know, we
Came
just
from
didn't
Blackpool when he
think
was
about
released.
that. Shocking,
Yeah,
but
anyway,
it
yeah.
happens. Right, before we move on to the Blues then, my God, this is going on for a bit now. Interesting fact about Stockport, I had to scour a bit for this.
Oh, I bet.
No disrespect. But the club was formed in 1883. That's not the fact. At McLaughlin's Caff on the corner of Heaton Lane and Wellington Road South by a
Oh,
group
yeah.
of young men.
By the paper shop.
All right, relax.
Do you hear about the paper shop in Stockport? Though?
Shut
It's
up.
such a shame.
Let me finish this.
Blew away.
By a group of young men
Don't
aged
joke.
between, have a guess. So the people that found it, there's 10 of them in total. Have a guess of the ages of the fellas that founded Stockport, because that's the most interesting thing about this fact.
The youngest being 18. I mean, anywhere near?
I'm waiting for you to finish.
All right, and the
Because I
oldest,
imagine you go for the
and
oldest.
the oldest being 87.
Totally wrong. They were all teenagers, 14 and 19-year-olds. They were
fair
pupils
play.
at Stockport Sunday School, and they attended Wycliffe something or other. They gained the nickname the Hatters, as Stockport was known in the early 90s for its hat-making trade.
Are they
name
known as
stuck-
the Hatters? I didn't know that. That's Luton, isn't
Apparently
it?
so. That's what I thought. But here it is saying it about Stockport, so someone owes someone a hiding, I suppose, for stealing nicknames. But it's about as interesting as it got for Stockport. I do apologise. The name stuck and is synonymous with the club to this day. There is said to be 10 teenagers, like I said, in total, as it is known as one of the rarer instances where a club has been created by not men but boys.
That's good.
Other than that, I couldn't really find anything on Stockport. So, but I think
Yeah.
with that being said, let's go on to the Blues, shall we?
I'll do the next one.
I don't know if you could have found anything better.
No, I don't think I could. No, that's good. It's good diving.
Yeah. So anyway, onto the Blues. I don't know how deep we want to go into this. There's no injured. Well, the injured players we know of. There's
But
nothing.
it won't
new
be the
there.
game the same game as yesterday. It'll be a different setup altogether, squad-wise, I would say.
Well, I still think we'll have 3 at the back. But
Yeah.
one thing that I hate about when I'm looking at pre-match reports
Hate's
or
a strong
or
word.
lineups. No, I hate this. I'm looking around in multiple sources, and no one ever seems to have a good gauge or idea on what the formation is that we're playing before the game. And I'm always trying to scout for how are we playing? Because I thought, looking at Blackpool, oh, why is so-and-so there? Why is so-and-so there? That can't be right. And then I heard from a few other videos that do their reports on this sort of stuff, that was actually playing more of a 4-4-2 against Blackpool.
Yeah.
I couldn't really piece it together myself because we only watched 2 minutes worth of the game from the highlights.
Well, the way they set him up as well, it's like
think-
Djukovic was in goal at one time on it, I think.
It's a nothing point. I think we just talk about what we can know, and that is, I'd like to imagine that the formation we stick with is the one that we've been going towards over these last 2 games. I think having 3 at the back has clearly proved to be of good value.
Gives us a bit of stability, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit more going forward and creating some chances, I think. But it's just about who we stick in there. So do you want to give us your idea of how we should line up? Put it right on you.
Yeah, back to Allsop in goal. Back 3 then will be Bielik, Clara and Ben Davis.
Yeah.
Cochrane back on the left, pushing forward a little bit. I think maybe we'll see Laird this time on the right.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
With Iwata and Paik in the middle. Stansfield back for me on the right. May in the centre. Stansfield or Kishi on the right. Other than that, Kishi will be on the left. Or I'd like to see Yokohama start as he did against Blackpool, which was good to see. And your number 10 would be Willemsen. That's him in that spot for me again. Other than that, you could have Taylor Gardner-Hickman in place of Laird for me. But like we've been discussing, there's so many of these players you can bring in. Leonard, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, Harris. We've got some real good slotting. Duke or Lyndon Dykes. I mean, do you give Dykes another start and bring May on? I'd like to see May start, to be honest with you. But again, Dykes is growing in confidence, and if he could come on, he's going to be hungry to get another goal again. He looked sharp, didn't he? So, for me, I'd be happy if it was around that formation and around that team, with maybe like a couple of minor tweaks, which I think we can trust old Chris Davies to do, can't we? Now, confidence is getting back to where it should be again, and I think that we should take the game to them. I think the 3 at the back will defend well against them. I think we need to man mark that forward for them. What's his name?
Louis Barry.
Yeah, and just try and enjoy the game, and fans get behind them, be the 12th man. And I'd love to keep a clean sheet and get a couple of goals, but we'll get to the predictions in a bit, I dare say.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think? Would you change anything from that?
I'm just thinking about how we line up. So 5 at the back, 2 wing backs. I'd keep the players the same. Cochrane, I agree with the Laird switch, actually. I didn't think about that until you mentioned it, but yeah, I think I'd prefer to see that because it's clear that Laird likes to get forward. The only thing that I'd debate with you about that decision is it's clear that Laird's delivery isn't as good as it can be, but there's only one way to get that
He
improved.
has got a delivery. Sorry to cut him, but I want to see Laird because we've only seen Laird when he's been pretty much on his own. When it's been Willemsen on the right side, Willemsen isn't an overlap man, whereas Laird, now say if it was someone like Stansfield on the right who's going to move around and create spaces, run at them, and maybe overlap, gives that coverage for Laird, like we've said before.
You can't have Stansfield on the right though, because you couldn't have anyone on the left. Remember, you've got 5 at the back, you've got the 2 holding midfielders. And then you've only got how many left? Then you've got 3 left, and you want Willemsen playing as a 10.
Of course, yeah. I've been thinking, God blimey, I'll be getting a player sense of. No, you're right. Yeah, so
that's why I'm thinking: do we have just 2 strikers, Willemsen behind them, and then you've got the 2 DMs?
Of course, yeah. God blimey.
No, it's fair enough.
It is. It's how it gets you, isn't it? Because I've been trying to think. So yeah, it's how it gets you, isn't it? I've been trying to basically think of this and overlapping my.
It's easily done.
Yeah,
it's easily
exactly.
done. It's easily
no,
done.
In that case, yeah, you've got to keep Iwata and Paik together in there because they come together as a unit, don't
Absolutely.
they? So you've got Laird. Yeah, that's the telling part, then, isn't it? Laird doing it all on his own. There's a lot of coverage, isn't there? Again,
you play Alfie May as the 9, and you almost drop. Jay onto a right attacking midfielder position where he's got that free roam.
That's what I'm
and you can
more
play
thinking.
Willemsen next to him.
But the other thing is, Laird isn't. it's not so imperative for him to cover back because Bielik played as a sort of right centre back that was more like a right back when we was watching, wasn't he, last week?
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got that coverage at the back, but at the same time, it's no. You know, Chris Davis will want all of his players pushing back when we need to. You know, that 10-second rule that we've started with at the beginning of the season comes back into play, doesn't it? Lose possession, get it back.
How much do we need to? Yeah, you speak about Bielik there. How much do we need to worry about Laird getting back? Then could we commit him to going forward if we've got Bielik and those three centre
Well, I think
halves
that's
covered?
why we've got the three centre backs, isn't
Yeah.
it? To allow
We'd like to hope
you can
so.
see on one of the formations, and I haven't seen the official formation because there doesn't seem to be one, but it does look as if we are just pushing those wing backs up a little bit more as a sort of wingers that may have to cover defensively. But the good thing about the way Blues are set up is that everybody's expected to defend if needed. Everyone comes back right from like obviously the back line to we mentioned it before, Stansfield, the way he tracks back as well, the engine on him to be able to run back.
Yeah.
Yokohama started doing
And
it
even
as well.
May plays quite
Yeah.
deep. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm thinking going on to. I think this actually leads us quite nicely into our predictions. Then before we close out, do you want me to go? You've gone first quite a few times.
go on
Do you want me to lead on
Yeah.
this one? Well, I actually guessed the last for the first time since we've started doing this for us to lose, and I was
I said 2-0
delightfully
Blackpool,
wrong.
didn't I? Yeah.
It will be a test. I certainly think we'll concede. I think that this one could be a bit of a cracker though. I think 3-2 to Blues in this game. I only say that because from what I can see from the stats and what I've read about Stockport, they're a team that aren't afraid to get forward and attack. You see by the shots, they've got the top scorer in the division at the moment, in that Louis Barry who was on about. And yeah, I can see him getting both goals for them. And for us, I can see another Owata special. And I'm going to go for Stano at the double. 3-2 Blues.
Good.
But trailing back to something, I said that Louis Barry was a striker earlier. I think I'm wrong.
I
think
thought
he's
he was a midfielder.
left attacking midfielder. Their formation has just cropped up in my head. They've got another chap who plays their out-and-out striker position. Yeah, I think he plays left attacking midfielder. Bear with me as I will skip forward and find it out for you. Yeah, that's right. Apologies. Yeah, he's a left attacking midfielder for him. Yeah, apologise about that, but at least I've got there anyway. He can play as a striker though. Yeah.
So Laird or TGH going to have their hands full with him, aren't they? And Bielik, I tell you what, as long as we got a sensible ref, we'll be all right. Right, I think it will be 3-1.
Okay.
3-1, and Barry will get their one goal, so get that out of the way. May, Stansfield, and Yokohama with the
think so.
winner.
Okay. All right. Well, we will
To
see.
confirm the win.
All right. Then. I think that wraps us up nicely, doesn't it? Any other thoughts?
No, I'm just going to go and read how to look at formations and make sure that it's 11 players on the pitch and not 12.
Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. Easy mistake. Thank you as always for watching, Blues fans. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. It really helps us out more than you know. And leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know your thoughts and how you think we'll get on Wednesday night.
We always get back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, Blues fans, we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.